Hi everyone, how's everyone doing? So I'm back with another drawing video, and I'm actually recording this pretty late. It's around 12:30 Saturday night, and I actually just finished doing something I haven't done in a long time. We actually, because of everything that's going on, me and a bunch of friends, some of them I haven't seen since high school. We all got together online and played some D&D, which was, it was a lot of fun. But I left the session thinking about something that's on my mind right now, and it's my hope that I'll talk about it right now and it'll all come out of my head. I don't really know quite what I'm gonna try to say, but I will try to say it. And I'm not even sure why this popped into my head at the end of the session, because we weren't talking about this, but it did. And, as it would at the end of a session of fighting bugbears and giant rats, and you start thinking about choices. I feel like right now is a time when our choices are kind of limited. Like we are all trying to be, maybe not all of us, but I'd say the majority of us are all trying to be safe and look out for everybody, and practicing social distancing and stuff like that is like a way of making sure yourself is safe, but also like safeguarding everyone around you. And so like that's a choice you can make, and it's not quite exactly what I was thinking about, but that is kind of in the ballpark of the idea of making choices. Like I guess one thing I've been thinking about, so the house I'm living at right now, I'm staying with some friends, as I think I mentioned in a video a few weeks ago. And they make a lot of things themselves. They make their own bread and their own kombucha and stuff like that. My friend Kelly, she went to art school and she studied pottery and glass blowing and stuff like that. So it's like the majority of the glasses in the house are all hand blown, and a lot of the dishes are handmade, and it's all stuff she made. And I've just been just being here, and I'm an artist myself, so I really appreciate things that are well crafted and made, and just like there's something about like everyday objects that you use all the time that are also like individual. It's like a quality of life thing, and we're all cooped up inside, and everyone's kind of going through the same things. And I guess there's something about having like all these handmade objects that just makes things a little more bearable in some way. And I don't quite know what I'm trying to say, but I'm living with people who made a choice to like learn how to make these things. Do you know what I mean? And learn how to like grow food and make their own bread and take control back into their lives as to where the things in their lives are coming from. And now really seems like a good time to, you're stuck inside. There's a limited amount of people you can hang out with. Like maybe you have like a couple that you were in contact with this whole time, and you're like, well, if they have it, we have it, and if we don't, they don't. So we might as well just keep hanging out. So you have a few friends you can, hang out with, or maybe you're just close family you're hanging out with. Now it's a good time to like look at areas of your life that you can like take control back during. And a lot of people either aren't working or are working from home, and when they're not working, they have nowhere to go and nothing to do. And it's like, I'm not saying you need, like I'm not trying to make this into like a self-improvement kick, because I don't mean that. If you're like in a state of mind where you can't focus and you're depressed and you're horrified by what's going on in the world, I mean, that's something you need to take the time to figure that out and really feel what you're going through, and I feel like that's just as important as what I'm talking about, if not more important. But if you're like sitting at home and going stir crazy, Instead of, running out to the beach and being near people, you could make the choice to like learn a new skill, or when I'm feeling stir crazy, because I'm always making stuff. Part of that's these videos and I'm drawing stuff or whatever. But, when I'm feeling stir crazy, I just go out. I go for a walk for like an hour and just kind of randomly walk down a bunch of streets and think and, talk to friends on the phone. I feel so much better once I've gotten outside of the house for a while and gotten away. Because it's tough living with people consistently, like with no escape. There's going to be times when you have to take a break from them and they need a break from you. So at the moment, right now, what I do is I'll just go for a long walk. Just try to stay away from people as much as possible. But just take in the neighborhood and try not to, get too hung up on how crazy things are right now. I try to stay up on the news and stuff like that, but I try not to let it really get me down. There's only so much you can do right now. And part of me thinks that like feeding into anxiety only spreads more anxiety, I'd rather be, focus on what I can do to make my life and the people around me lives more positive, so try to help out around the house and stuff like that, and clean where I can and chip in where I can, and also stay out of people's ways and give them space and stuff like that, I feel like my focus is keeping to myself and being considerate, and also like just trying to focus on communication and staying in touch with my family or calling old friends. And it's exhausting. Like I feel like I talk to people more now than I did before this whole quarantine thing. And there comes a time in every day where I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone for the rest of the day. But that's just kind of how things are right now. And I think it's important to think about your choices right now and what you can do to help out the people around you and to make life easier. It is a strange and stressful time right now. And I know for myself, I want to be focused on, remaining calm and collected and thoughtful and not making rash decisions, instead making like informed decisions and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot going on right now, though. You guys don't need to hear me talk about it, basically, because everyone else is talking about it. So I apologize. It's tough, though, not to talk about it. I keep trying to steer myself away, and I keep talking around it. And, I suppose I could talk a little bit about playing D&D with my friends. It's just funny, because, I maybe played a little bit in the past 10 years, but before that, I hadn't played it really since high school. And these friends I just played with right now, some of them are friends I used to play with even all the way back to like junior high and stuff like that. And some of the people I was hanging out with online were folks that I hadn't seen since high school, or I barely talked to. And it looks like this is going to be a regular, a weekly thing for a while, and maybe even, maybe a cool thing that would come out of this is after everything gets back to normal, maybe we'll continue to do this and have fun. And I don't know, it's nice to hang out with people and be focused on something, some sort of entertainment, and I know for myself, it helps to be focused on a project. Like, when I was younger, that was all I could do when I hung out with people, is like I had to have my sketchbook with me, or a notebook or something I could draw on, because otherwise I couldn't talk to people. I would just be nervous and silent, but if I could, and this worked also in my classes, like if I was in a class where a teacher let me draw, I would actually like pay attention better and learn more. Like I remember more because I was able to focus because I had this other thing I could focus on. I don't know why I'm this way. I've always been this way, where it's like, if I focus on a person, I can't focus on them, but if I have like a project to focus on, I can completely focus on what's happening around me, like even though I'm kind of ignoring it in a way. And yeah, it's really strange. Kind of a meandering video this week, I guess. Even though I'm talking about focus a little bit, so I guess this video is about lack of focus. Or anyway, as you can see, I'm drawing. We might as well talk about the drawing a little bit, right? Drawing some little gnomes or elves. I'm not quite sure what they are, but they're tiny. As you can see by the ant standing next to them, and the mushroom behind them. Yeah, they're just chilling out. The funny thing about these drawings is when I start them, I don't really, I kind of like, I'll sit down to try to draw them, and I won't know what I'm drawing, and sometimes I'm just like, well, I don't have any ideas, so I'll just start drawing, and usually when I do that, I either do two things. I start drawing a face, or I draw like a bunch of rocks and some plants, and I think this one was a drawing that started out as a bunch of rocks and some plants, and then I'm like, well, I can't just draw rocks and plants, I gotta add some characters in there, so I added in some little guys, and yeah, I like how this one turned out. I think I got some good textures. In a second I'm going to start adding some gray tones. I'm still learning how to do that stuff. All this other things I'm doing here, like the drawing and the inking, I've kind of developed a style for. And the gray tones thing, or, in the future I want to start adding some watercolors and adding some, super mellow color to these drawings, because that's not that much different than adding gray tones. Yeah, that's something I'm still learning and practicing, and kind of like part of the reason I wanted to do these drawings was to, kind of prepare myself for stuff I want to do in the future, which is part of that is just creating nice, solid, balanced illustrations, where the black and white is really balanced, and the composition is really balanced, and I also wanted to learn how to, maybe at some point loosen up a bit and start using pen nibs and ink again, and really kind of cut loose, But I'm just getting back to, I haven't done any drawing since October, so that was more than half a year ago, or maybe exactly half a year ago. So I'm a little out of practice, and I'm also still figuring out how to use water and ink and stuff like that. So, and where to kind of keep control and where to not stay in control. It's all a process, so, it's my hope I'll do a bunch of these drawings and just slowly over time make mistakes and find out things by accident, and, Bob Ross, happy little accidents all over the place, and, just kind of experiment. And at least, I'm experimenting, but I'm still like working in a very refined, focused set of parameters. Hopefully I'll really get some solid illustrations styles figured out, and I want to take these things and kind of like, start to focus on developing some ideas I have for children's books, and pitch them around. I don't want the books to be in black and white, but I am working on my drawing style for the children's books, though, because I want it to be very kind of fantasy based, and and have a lot of like whimsy. I want it to be solid drawing. Have the drawings have a lot of depth to them, but also have a lot of be loose and have a lot of whimsy to them too. And it's going to take me a lot of practice to get there, I think. The goal for me with drawing has always been it's like having form but have it be loose and appear effortless. Like the artist just kind of took a pen out and just kind of whipped it across the page, and that's what came out. But it looks like perfect, basically. Just kind of loose, and when I say perfect, I don't mean like perfection. I mean like it's loose and free and vibrant and alive. Maybe that's what I'm talking about. It's like you make a drawing that feels alive and feels like it has a lot of movement, and you can't. And I'm not saying that I'm there yet, but I'm working my way there, and I feel like you get there by drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing and practicing and knowing a lot, and studying, and so I guess that's what I'm trying to achieve with these drawings, is just kind of learning this loose style, and hopefully someday I'll get there, and I can, and hopefully you all can watch me in my progress, and we can share this journey together. And so looks like this drawing is just about done. So there it is, little mushroom gnomes. I hope you enjoyed hanging out and listening to me talk and jabber, and thanks for tuning in. I hope you're all healthy and staying safe and making such smart decisions. And I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.